That is Murdoch with brain face.
From Ireland. I've been talking to those guys. They're pretty cool guys. I think they toured with Dillinger Escape Plan recently, from what I understand. So I think you'll be hearing a lot more from those guys in the future. And I don't know, come into a beer hall near you soon, I guess.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I know you're getting really on the ball with getting these bands involved.
Well, the more exposure that we can provide, Surreal Grotesque is a great platform for all kinds of different artists, and you've set it up that way, and you deserve a lot of applause for that, Daniel. You've set it up in such a way that it can gravitate towards musicians, artists, photographers, poets, writers, and that definitely deserves some respect. So, June issue's rolling out probably later this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, the new issue will be out probably later in the day today.
That's great, and there's a lot to look forward to. And after that, we're gearing up for the August issue, which will carry the Bizarro theme. And I'm working on a few pieces for that myself. And we've already gotten some brilliant submissions from that. We haven't confirmed any acceptances for it because we thought we'd let everyone enjoy the June issue before we, kind of muddied the water. But did you ever finish Nosferatu by Joe Hill?
I'm still in the process.
Yeah.
It's a long book, so.
Well, I had some really interesting reads over the weekend. First was Lost in Cat Brain Land by Cameron Pierce, which, as I've said before, is one of my favorite Bizarro writers, and he's almost like Lewis Carroll. If Lewis Carroll listened to heavy metal and, was more abrasive, had a darker vision of humanity, and it's just amazing what Cameron Pierce does with words. But the story, it's a collection of short stories, one of his first, and it begins with this guy finding his dead cat on the bed, and whatever happened to it, it looked like it had crawled up on the bed to look for, some comfort from him, but he wasn't there because he was moaning and pining for his ex-girlfriend on the couch the whole night. And to put a story in shorter words, he gets sucked into the cat's brain by these tentacles that grow out of the dead cat's head, and then that then begins the chain of the sequence of events for each short story in the collection Lost in Cat Brain Land. And man, that would make a great creep show type anthology movie. Some of those stories in there, like a town full of scorpions. It's just really amazing what they're doing with Bizarro. I wish I could give a more detailed analysis of what I read, but I'm just really trying to, convey it all, and I don't know if I succeeded or failed.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The other one was Dr. Flesh by our guest tonight, Alex S. Johnson. And it's put out through Jordan Crawl's Dynatox Ministries, which is a newer company. And what they do, they specialize in limited edition print runs of books. They'll do 25 copies of a book by, say, Nick Cato or Alex S. Johnson, Jason Wayne Allen. And, Alex S. Johnson also wrote for Metal Maniacs magazine. He's had a book of poetry released called The Death Jazz, and he's going to be our guest tonight, and I'm excited about that. And I know he is, because he all but threatened me with bodily harm if we didn't bring him on. But no, not really. But he did say, "I want to be on the podcast, damn it." And I said, "Well, okay, well, you'll be on the podcast, damn it." I didn't have a problem with that. Did you?
No, that's fine. All right.
In fact, I think it's a great testament to what we're doing that someone should be so insistent to want to be on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And actually, actually, it doesn't just stop there, because he has a story to be featured in the upcoming June issue that drops later this weekend called Biodome. And, man, what he did with the bondage gag in that story, he took it to Cronenberg levels of body horror, and it's just amazing. And you're going to get to know Alex Johnson a little bit better tonight, folks.
Yeah.
Do we have any... I'm sorry.
No, I said, yeah, I know. Definitely, it's going to be exciting.
Did we have any announcements we wanted to make? I think the Fresh Fear Anthology has expired as of today.
Yes, I believe that the deadline came up, so...
Did you get to submit anything, Daniel?
No, I've been too busy with school and stuff.
All right. Well, when are we going to see another Daniel William Gonzalez contribution in Surreal Grotesque anyway?
I'm thinking about putting something in the Bizarro issue as well.
Oh, yeah?
I'm working on something, So, I definitely, look forward to that.
Yeah, it's been a while since you have put anything of your own in there. I know you took out an article you had planned for this June issue, because just the amount of authors that we were featuring, it was just so huge that there was just no room for it. So you had to sacrifice that article, didn't you?
Yeah, sometimes I have to sacrifice my own ego to make sure I have room for everyone else, because, it's about the other people, not me trying to feature my own writing, so.
Right. Well, should we get Alex on now?
Yep. And
Do you have anything else that you wanted to announce or anything?
No, I think we're good. He'll be right on after the break. Alright, so that was Amorphous with Alone. And we have... Yes. And we have Alex Johnson on the line. How you doing today?
Great. How are you, Jeremy?
I'm good.
Yeah, hey Alex. This is Jeremy. And, I'm sorry. Daniel,
it's alright.
Daniel is on Audacity. I'm on the phone line. And we're both very pleased to have you on. I was telling a story before the break that you pretty much insisted on being on, and we're like, well, okay, we don't have a problem with that.
About that makes me seem kind of, anxious or something. But
we appreciate it, though, and I know that you have a lot of projects lined up.
Yes,
so I know you have a lot of projects lined up in the future, and we're going to get to that. But first off, I wanted to establish, kind of your origin story, so to speak.
okay.
Where were you and what were you doing when you realized that writing was your purpose in life?
Wow. I was probably like 5 years old or so. My grandfather, my dad's father, was an editor and writer for Sunset Books. So I sort of grew up around that environment with, my dad went to Yale and he studied English. So books and literature were always something that were around the house, and we were always, talking about, Mark Twain or Shakespeare or whatever. So it just seemed like what one would want to Snoopy. Well, I was 5. So that's my origin story. It's a sort of an amalgam of Shakespeare and Charles Schultz. As being big influences. Yeah.
Wow. So some people choose Harlan Ellison or Lovecraft as their literary influences, and you choose Snoopy and Shakespeare. And
Pretty much, yeah.
I think that comes across in your writing a little bit. Sometimes I have trouble reading influences in your work, though. You seem to have such an amalgamated style. That I guess it just appears as this alien form. And I just finished reading Dr. Flesh over the weekend, and it totally floored me. You have this sort of kind of a exhibitionist sort of slant on your writing, like, let me show you what I can do, and then you do it.
Right, yeah.
You're totally confident in your abilities, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I figure it's very easy. It's sort of like being the Wizard of Oz. If you have the apparatus and you have the megaphone and you have the screen, which in this case is my writing, skills such as they are. So I can deploy them. I'm actually a very shy person, so in reality, yeah.
Well, you started off. Well, maybe not started off, but you put in some time with the music magazines like Metal Maniac, Metal Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like, and were you well received by the staff in these places?
Avast virus database has been updated.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, the metal. Very early on, I got into metal. Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, UFO, and Led Zeppelin. I mean, these were my heroes, and I wanted to be, in rock and roll. I wanted to play guitar, because I knew I didn't have a voice like Ronnie James Dio. If I could have been Ronnie James Dio, I would have been very happy. So, but writing about music actually came sort of as a sideways detour, because around between like 87 and onwards, when I wanted to write science fiction, I wanted to write fantasy, I wanted to write horror stories, particularly horror stories, and I couldn't really find any market for my fiction, so I started writing nonfiction. And then I was asked by this magazine in Australia called Dark Angel to do a piece on a sort of an ambient industrial band in Riverside, California, which I said, okay. From there, I started to get in touch with music labels, and that reawakened my, all my memory and curiosity and joy about music, and then I was like, oh, well, King Diamond is still around, I used to listen to him in high school. I'm like, damn, I could talk to King Diamond. It was like a kid in the candy store, just because you get all these free records and stuff, back when they would actually send you the disc, and it was so exciting, and so I was like, so immediately after that, once I did a